hate when I'm doing the video and somebody calls my phone and it's somebody that is unimportant. But yeah, personal hygiene, that's a sign of, you know, somebody possibly having a mental illness, you know, because like I said, you pretty much are self-neglecting, meaning you don't have the motivation because of your condition to get up and do anything. You lack energy. You basically are very, very fatigued, and you don't have the motivation for life or a motivation to do anything for yourself. So you just stay in bed rather than go to the bathroom and take a shower or brush your teeth. So if you see somebody who, like, especially in school, like if you see a kid that's kind of like an outcast, or kind of like, to you they seem like they're not groomed, or they're going through you may smell them or something like that, you know, it's self-neglect. So you want to assess them and see, okay, well, is it a parental thing where they're being neglected at home by their parents? They don't have the necessities, they don't have the resources, or they're being neglected purposefully by their parents, or this may be a case where there's mental illness involved and nobody's educated on the symptoms of mental illness, which is self-neglect, which causes, you know, personal hygiene issues. It takes a lot of love, you know, to deal with someone with a mental illness. And it's like, when I say that word mental illness, sometimes I cringe, because I know there's a lot of people who don't understand, and they start to stigmatize, and they start to, you know, think negative or whatever the case may be about, you know, that. But what I can say is that it is very, very important that people know that we need love and we need a lot of support. You know, it's not easy to fight the battle that we fight, because with one thing that we have, it leads to a whole bunch of other problems. It's not just depression now. You got personal hygiene issues or whatever the case may be. Granted, you know, I get up for work every morning. I make sure that I take care of myself so I can be presentable. But those days where I'm not at work and I'm sleeping in and I'm not doing anything for myself, that's a problem. So, you know, it takes a lot to, you know, it takes a lot of compassion and a lot of patience and a lot of understanding and a lot of research to love someone and to deal with someone with, you know, a condition like that. Just how, for example, if you have a significant other with a handicap, who's handicapped, and they basically are in a wheelchair because maybe they were in Vietnam and they lost their legs, or you have a partner that doesn't have an arm. It takes a lot of compassion, it takes a lot of love, and it takes a lot of understanding and patience to deal with someone with a disability, you know. And so it's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. And I didn't ask to be born this way, nor did I ask to have, you know, any type of chemical imbalance or anything like that affecting my daily living. But this is how I was born, and you know, the right people who love you will understand you and help you every step of the way, and they will not give up on you. You know what I'm saying? Just how the man in the wheelchair with the wife that bathes her husband, takes care of her husband, gets her husband dressed, you know, because he's like disabled, and she doesn't give up on him. She still loves him unconditionally. People with mental illness need people to love them unconditionally. And if you can't love someone unconditionally, especially if they have a disability or any type of mental illness, then you might as well just go ahead and stay away from them, and, you know, find you someone else to be friends with, or find you someone else to date, because it's not, you know, easy. But I don't think loving anybody is easy. Even somebody who doesn't have mental illness, loving them isn't easy, because that person may have a horrible past. Maybe they got raped, maybe they were sexually abused. You know, they don't have a mental illness, but now you got to deal with a mate that has trauma, who might lash out on you, you know, because of their trauma from the past, displacing their anger. You got to deal with hurt that you didn't cause, but it's being thrown onto you because this is, you know, what they've been through. So it's not easy loving anybody, you know what I'm saying? But True love is unconditional, and whatever your partner may be going through or whatever your partner has, love them unconditionally. And if you can't, be honest with yourself and take a bow. But just know that everybody in this world, we're imperfect and we all need unconditional love. And that's something that I'm capable of giving, you know. And I hope that one day I'll find someone that can give me the same thing as well. You know, because like I said, loving an imperfect human being, period, is not easy. So, yeah. So guys, you know, comment down below. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel bad. Like, at the end of the day, we're grown, and people may be embarrassed about hygiene issues or something like that. But, you know, like I said, nobody decides, you know, to be born a certain way. And, for example, there are people that are born with, like, there are people, for example, that, some girls have issues with, like, you know, a vagina that they don't understand why they have vaginal odor. I don't have vaginal odor. That's not a department that I have to deal with, you know what I'm saying, per se. But I feel like, I don't know, I guess because as a medical professional, like, stuff like that doesn't faze me. Like, it's like, whatever, like, okay, you know. But there's always, you know, things you can do to help yourself. Like, some girls literally have pH balances that, you know, are just off, and, you know, they have infections that they don't know about, and so they have to go to the doctor to take care of the infection, or they got to deal with a pH balance, and they have to figure out, eat yogurt and all these different things to keep their balance on point. And say, for example, they want to date somebody, they can be very self-conscious about dating somebody, because it's like, you know, people are so judgmental, and it's like, oh, you got a smelly vagina, don't nobody want that. But it's like love. When you love someone unconditionally, you help them with that. Like, you don't just shun them because they have that. Like, how you know that that's not how they was born? Like, you know, we're imperfect. How you know that they weren't born with a pH balance, you know, problem, and they have to put in more work than me or the next girl to make sure that their vagina is on point? You know what I'm saying? But a man, or, you know, someone who really loves you, is not going to judge you, but they're going to tell you, oh babe, you know, this is what I smell, and we need to work on it, and let's go to the doctor, or let's go to, you know, get recommendations for natural remedies or whatever, yogurt, you know, that helps with balancing the vagina flora, pH, helps you, you know. Oh, they have probiotics to help give you increased good bacteria, you know, and decrease the bad bacteria. Like, just balance your flora out. Like, that's what unconditional love is, and the world lacks in that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, life is life. Nobody that you date is perfect. Nobody that you're friends with is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not ready to unconditionally love someone, then stay to yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, love each other unconditionally. Understand each other. Be empathetic. Help each other. Understand each other. Cherish each other. And I'll keep you guys updated on my progress. And yeah. Bye.